Hey, everybody, I want to welcome you back to another edition of Printing's Alive with me, your host, Warren Werbitt. Today, I've decided to go a different route. I haven't had anybody from the software side, web to print in particular. And today I have Naimish Patel from OnPrintShop. Welcome.
Yes, Warren, thank you.
Thank you for taking the time and for coming on a little later in your day, being that you're located over on the other side of the world. So today I decided to have on a web to print guy. Why? Because web to print's really important. It's been important from the beginning, but not everybody jumped on it. And now we are 2025, and it is extremely important. Like you have to have it, even if you don't want to use it. You need to have it because there's always some use in it that you can, that you can take advantage of. So I thought I would just start off and just ask you, Naimish, how did OnPrintShop start? Not actually. Let me rephrase. How did it start? But why did it start?
Yes. So just to give you a little background, like OnPrintShop is a product of Radix Web, which is again an IT company since 2001. We are like mid-size IT company, 800 plus people as an employee, and running like offering IT services since 2001. And in 2008, we realized that like creating a lot of projects, that there is a niche in the printing where there is a need of the product, because at that time there were a lot of web to print solutions which were very complex and very expensive. So there was nothing for an SME segment. So we wanted to create an easy web to print system, and any printer can set up without list of IT skills and offered as a subscription. That's where we created OnPrintShop as a product. And initially when we started, our like objective was in terms of serving the SME segment, because even if you say like the research says like 70 to 80% of all print companies worldwide are SME. They're less than like 10 people team. So they need more automation than the big guys, because big guys always have enough team members. So we wanted to create something very, very easy for anyone to implement without knowing the IT or coding or hiring an IT staff. That's where OnPrintShop emerged. But today, like the same uh, philosophy, like easy to use technology without IT skills, is also appreciated by large players. And today, OnPrintShop is serving like all range of print companies, starting from large commercial printers who range in top 100 print companies of the world, at the same time, the SME segment as well.
Cool. So my next question is, what problem, were you actually solving when you decided to go after the print market? I mean, print is a special market, right?
Yes, print is always a special market, because even like that's what your tagline says, like print is a language. So print is one of the key industry has been, and it's always been. Even you have, I guess, written a whole book, Printing's Alive. It is all about the importance of printing in the market. So like the major challenge in the industry right now, what I feel, even the same challenges were earlier as well. So one is a labor shortage, because it's an SME industry, as I mentioned. So normally they are family run businesses, mostly owners and their generations are in the business. And because they are so much into the business, everything is dependent on them. So they are like in the business rather than they should be on the business. So their key, like the day to day, for example, goes in handling the customers' queries, phone. So they do not get any creative time to think on a growth aspect. So the very first thing what we solve is reducing the human dependency on some of the very simple or repetitive processes. For example, estimation. This can be completely automated with a platform like us. The customer servicing, for example, receiving the file, checking the file, whether it is appropriate or not. So OnPrintShop, rather than web to print, we call it as an online order management system, because it's not like some people say, oh, our customers will not order online. So it's not about ordering online. It is all about like convenience as well as order management system. We also created certain tools to manage orders directly from the backend, because many print shops order starts from an email or phone. So they can enter an order directly from the backend, and then customer gets an email that, okay, your order has been submitted into the system. Please go here and upload your file. Please go and submit your payment. So the order entry is done in the backend, but the rest of the activity is done by the printer. So we solve those like repetitive task challenges for printers who are like SME. Then another challenge in the industry, what I feel is like the productivity, the operating cost is really getting high. So you always have to reduce the number of human touch as well as gaps between the order processing. Like I was talking to one of our customer who was like a large printer. Okay, they are having like state of the art facility. This is like we have to turn down our orders because some of our customers are just requesting small quantity jobs, but then it goes to estimator, then it goes to CSR, it goes to sales rep, and then even though order hasn't come, we already maybe utilize like $350 or something just into a human labor if we calculate the hourly cost. So even though they have not got an order, still they have lost like a big amount in the productivity. So that is also we are solving, because small orders are like easy to manage into a web to print. So easily customer can go self-estimate, upload file, design online, and submit the job. And the third challenge we are hearing like in the market is the tariff, which is an uncertainty. So there also like printers are pressurized in order to optimize their workflow, optimize it. It's not always to increase the cost for the customers, but there are also ways to reduce the operating costs internally, and that's where OnPrintShop really plays well in order to reduce that challenges for print companies by optimized workflow and order management.
No, it sounds like all the important things you need in business today.
True.
So, what's the? I'm just thinking of some other questions like about the printer, but I'll hold off on those till after. But I remember when we went just installing our MIS system. It wasn't web to print at the time, but the onboarding. How's your onboarding? I remember when we were doing the whole implementation, like not only did I want to kill myself, but I think everyone in my company wanted to kill me, right? Just from the whole process and getting everything set up. So how do
True.
you deal with the onboarding, and how does your customer react to the onboarding?
Yes. So especially like implementing this kind of system is very much change management in overall business. So the way you are doing your business, maybe traditionally email, phone, or maybe some partial system, you may have something already implemented but having challenges, and now you are introducing the new system into the organization. So it's a change management. So change management is like not only for printers, but it has to be dealt with all types of companies. So the change management is like, for example, we really go in detail. First of all, in the pre-sales itself, we really go in detail that, okay, what is your current ordering process? What are the different tools and processes you guys are utilizing? And then we really create or curate the kickoff plan, basically, that how this will be kick off. So it's not like after they purchase, they are on their own. So I always say to my customer that buying is easy, but implementation is challenging, because when these printers come to us, they have like $1 million equipments versus $1,000. A couple of $1,000 in web to print is not a big problem for them. So buying is easy; they would just sign up, but then implementation is challenging. So from day one, we curate that particular plan. Then, as I mentioned, a lot of print businesses are run on the family or the key owners are involved, but we always say like, okay, who is an alternative person from you who could be also participate? So in case if you are busy, then other person can take over. It's not like everything is dependent on you, and then you already have your current business going. And then we assign a team. So one person from the sales, one person from the support, we call it solution specialist, who understand the on-print shop well, and then one technical member. Now, these three members would work very closely with our customer for next 3 to 6 months. Because end of the day, see, it's a subscription solution. It is also in our interest that we help customer to launch, so they utilize the system. So it's not like we forget about them and then after 6 months they say, oh, we didn't implement. And so we are also interested that they continue with us. So we have a very strong KPI that all our customers sign up. We do a first kickoff. we understand what are your goals, what are your current processes, curate that plan, and really work very closely with them for 3 to 6 months. And as you mentioned, like I've started my call in the evening, but we are very much habituated working as per our client's time zone, because our 50% clients are from North America. So we have 24 into 5 operations, Monday to Friday, because we understand that print owners are like maybe free early in the morning or late in the evening. So it's not like they don't have anyone. They have to wait, for example, next day. So that team is available like 24/5 to help and support. So one of the key, as I mentioned, like really understanding the customer business and then working very closely with them for next 2 3 6 months. That is helping us really, create a good launch plan for the customers.
Cool. So I have a question. Uh, of all the printers that you deal with, and I'm coming from from as a printer guy, right? What percentage really truly embrace the fact that they've bought a system and they want to implement it and make it happen? And like, what's the percentage of the people who buy it but are very lazy and lax and whimsical or all over the place with it?
It's a very good question, Warren. So even earlier, what we used to do is like every customer coming to us is, "Look, we want to launch a web to print. We want to create something like Vista Print, or like our next door neighbor is doing. We also want to launch online," and we were like offering a web to print to them. But basically, they just started a web to print because they saw somebody else is doing, rather than understanding the business and actually finding whether they have a need or not. So they will continue for 6 months, 12 months maximum, but then they realize that it's not just a magic that okay, by having a web to print I could generate the same success maybe my next door neighbor or maybe my other competitor have generated, or maybe Vista Print have generated. So in overall business, web to print is a tool, then which is maybe 25% of the business. But on top of that, you need an execution strategy. And that is like 75%, which creates a success. So in spite of having the same OnPrintShop technology with 2 printers, one could be like struggling and another could be like flourishing kind of thing. So initially we have seen like 50% of our customers were struggling. And then maybe after a few months, they realize that, okay, now I can use this in my business, maybe solving the particular challenges or meeting the specific goals. So we realize that when the customers are not having their proper alignment into an execution strategy, these guys are failing. So later, like I would say post COVID, we changed our sales strategy as well. We were really becoming picky in terms of what customers we want to onboard. So before, like we now have like 70 to 80% successful ratios, because from the very beginning, as I mentioned in the pre-sales itself, we really go in detail. Sometimes I want upfrontly, I would say to the customers that right now, what I feel that you really have to work on your execution strategy first, then maybe start a solution like OnPrintShop, because I don't see any goal which you have currently, or maybe I don't see any customer challenges which you can implement. If you have that clarity that, okay, as soon as I start with Web2Print, what would be my next step? Then they are the right people. So right now, for example, 70 to 80% print companies are really getting successful because we have created that particular sales process. But yes, SME is still the challenge. As I mentioned, one, they already have a labor shortage and they are really into business a lot. So sometimes to prepare the data for them, configuring the web to print is a challenge. So we also introduced professional services, setup packages. So they don't have to hire a person. They can say, okay, I want to hire basically somebody. So they just need to give us the data and then we can set it up.
What's the average size of your majority of your clients?
You'd be surprised. Like we have customers who are also like 1 or 2 people team. And we also have a customers who are like 1,000 people, 5,000 people employee size as well. Because as I mentioned, the SME print companies challenges are like they're already struggling with the labor and they have operating costs is getting high. So web to print really helps them. But when we talk about large commercial printers, basically they have multiple technologies. Everyone who comes to us, who is a large, decent sized printer, they already have some or other technology. Either they might have some e-commerce developed, or they might have some other web to print technology, or they might have an MIS. But then because they have multiple technologies, they are not able to integrate into one. Plus, a lot of web to print solution in the market are really a ready product. So they will box customer inside their feature and functionality. But what we realize
But
that
sorry, but okay, no, yeah, it's a good answer. But are your customers mainly the 10 to 25 person shop, the 50 to 200? Like, where's the bulk? I get you could serve everyone, but where are you coming at for the main flow?
if you really ask us the percentage wise, then 60% are print shops who are like I would say less than 20 people team, and then 40% are commercial printers. They are like 25 or plus kind of thing.
Cool. And I'm just, so of the main market, the smaller printer, how successful would you think they are at by the time they finish the implementation, or what percentage actually finish the implementation and what percentage finish it well?
So like I would say like 70 to 80% finish it successfully, and even after that 50% to 60% really get successful with it. So the people who already have a clarity in terms of goals and challenges, they are able to replicate it a lot. And sometimes they already have the clarity and the challenges, but then they do not have the enough resources or time, they're able to put it in. So out of like 80% who are implementing it successfully, at least 50 to 60% goes successful, because as I mentioned, we change our processes. So we really made sure that when customers come to us and start, they already have that execution strategy prepared. If they're not ready, we will honestly tell them that, okay, you're not ready yet. So it's, even though you start, you don't have a clarity how to start it. So we are trying to reduce that uh, in terms of helping customers whether they're ready or not. Because see, when you say the web to print is not for beginners, it is for intermediate users, and then they become advanced. So the beginners, I would say, like sometimes customer come to us and say like, do you have a website? They says, I do not have a website. So they don't know even like they need to get a URL, they need payment gateways, they need shipping gateways, they need some domain hosting, email hosting. So those customers are not for web to print yet. So I would say like get an experience, at least set up your online presence with a basic site. Then web to print is like a next level kind of thing.
How long does it take from the time a person signs the contract with you until they're happy with the way the system is running and being used realistically? Right. I'm asking that obviously with a smile because everybody's different. But I just wanted to get a feel, of what you think. It's never a month and it's never as fast as it should be. Because there's a lot of moving parts, mainly people.
Mm-hmm.
So how long is it? A month, 2 months, 6 months, 8 months, 15 months? Till
So
everybody's running and
in
utilizing it.
OnPrintShop, what we consider with them is like phase one, like we have phase one, phase two, phase three launch we plan with them. So phase one is like top 20% products which generate 80% revenue. And when we figure out with them, they're always like 20 to 30 key products. They have like maybe hundreds of products, but we really ask them that, okay, which are the 20% products which generate 80% revenue? So that is our phase one. So we help them launch. That is our KPI to help them set it up in our system within 1.5 months. So those 20% products which generate 80% revenue has to be in the system within 1.5 months. So they need to prepare the data and give it to us, and we help them set it up. And then phase two, phase three could take. So eventually, I would say it's not like always, if I say 1.5 months, everything would be like everyone would be able to complete. But maximum time, it goes up to like 3 months to 6 months. So you can talk about like from 1.5 to 6 months in between. The range is 1.5 to 6 months.
Oh, sorry, had to let Wally out of the room. Didn't want to be with us anymore. Okay, so yeah, so 6 months. So anybody listening, if you're in it, you know what it is. If you're not in it, just be prepared. Nothing is that fast. But once it's installed, how are people operating? Like, what's your feedback from the customers when it's installed?
Oh, feedback is huge. Like even it's sometimes we really feel good hearing the feedback from the SME printers. Like recently we participated in retail shipping associations, RSA, and they have a lot of small printing, and they offer like printing and shipping services both. But the printing is completely manual. A lot of them have implemented OnPrintShop as an order management system. Like one customer was sharing, like I used to get 30 emails every day. I need this or I need that, and I reply to them. Next day another 30 comes, and I don't have any clarity like out of those 30 how many customers approved the estimate, how many I need file, how many uh, invoices have to be sent, and where the orders are. And today he says like everything is online, so I don't get any emails, which is completely complicated. Otherwise 70 to 80% has gone down. So feedback from SMEs are really fulfilling. The large printers are always having the resources, so I'm sure they would implement it well. But when we hear the small print companies, like we have certain customers who have grown with us, we have seen like they started with us where they had like less than 5 people team, and today they're having 30 people team. We had a customer said like because of the tool, like he had 3 B2B customers, and end of like after 2 years he had like 35 different B2B accounts, because he was able to present to other corporates that okay, this is what as a web to print we could do for you. So amazing stories, as I mentioned. And normally these stories are like growth in the business, uh, completely optimized order management processes. So web to print is not always that okay, you want to capture the new business. It's of course that is one of the objective, but it also to improve your current processes, as I mentioned, like saving time, reducing the number of human touch. So a lot of customers are coming back to us and saying like the complete ordering process have been simplified by 70 to 80%. A lot of dependencies reduced. For the key people, like some of people were saying like we could not go on holidays. Even if we go on holidays, we have to keep our laptops on, mobiles on, because everybody would come and call and say, oh, where is my order, can you share us this estimation? And the people are actually means very used to connecting to those key people. If they are not in the business, means they are on the holidays, they would say, oh, no problem, I'll just call later on, and that they'll just go to some other printer. So it's not like that okay, if Warren is not available, I would talk to someone else, because I like connecting to the Warren, then they'll always try to connect with an Warren. But now that dependency is reduced because they have at least self-serving portal.
Cool. Okay, so I have another question. What are your biggest printer complaints?
From
Right?
software side or
No, whatever. From you sell a printer the subscription, the service,
Mhm.
and some are really good, and then you have some customers that are like always complaining, or like
Mhm.
what are the general complaints that printers have? And I'm asking the question so other printers could hear
Mhm.
and know. I'm not saying that they're good or bad, right? Just they complain. And what they complaining about? Legitimate complaints, or are they just printers being lazy and looking for ways out?
Yeah. So one of the common complaint is like no business or ROI. But specifically when customers start with an on-print shop and say that okay, this is only for our new business, all our existing customers will be managed in a traditional way. This is only to capture this maybe a new business which we are targeting. So those customers have a very limited goal that okay, this solution will be only utilized just to capture that new audience. Now to capture the new audience is it's the whole is its own process in terms of creating a brand, getting customers on your site. So one is like getting
It's
customers on
called
your
it's
site.
called it's called marketing,
Yeah, marketing.
and it's something
they
that printers in general don't do well. There are those that are amazing and they know who they are, but the majority
True.
of our industry, the majority of a printer's problem is because they are not marketing and letting people know that they are there. So,
Absolutely. So those customers always complain about that business and ROI aspect of it, because the only goal they have is like capturing the new customers on it. That is the maximum what we are hearing. And second is like a lot of technical challenges, because a lot of these print owners, as I mentioned, are not always techy. So I would say OnPrintShop, still it's a very easy to use, a flexible platform, but I would say 10% of the configurations are advanced level, which somebody has to really spend time. So sometimes they get uncomfortable or maybe get frustrated doing those steps on their own. So we also have to consult them. So these are specific things, like plus the data.
Sorry, so for the customer who comes on board who isn't so technical, and there's a lot of those people,
Mhm.
my question then is, how do you deal with them? How do you handle them? Right? Because on your side, you could probably go crazy. Do you have a team that takes over and does it for them to make it easier? Or do they got to find someone on their team? Some of them, like we said, labor, they don't have the right team.
Yeah. So in that also there are two kind of customers we are getting. One who already have a clarity and the data, but they do not have a person to set up. So we can always help them, but we need data. For example, what is the pricing? How much would you charge for these specific combinations? What would be the shipping rates or weight for this particular item? So there we have the setup experts. So assume that you do not have to hire a member. You can rely us on that, and it's a pay as you go kind of structure. So it's not like they have to keep them for a longer basis. They can say, okay, I just need them for maybe few hours this month, next month they can opt for those professional services. But the real challenge is like customers don't have any clarity that what should be the data, what should be the values. So even though we offer them a professional solution specialist, they still do not have a data. Sometimes they would just say, go to this maybe XYZ website and get all the data. It's not like somebody could sit and click all the combinations and get the pricing. So those kind of customers always struggle because they still do not have a clarity or like, an actual implementation plan. So the people who really have a data, yes, we can obviously help them. So they need one person strategizing that what goes on the platform. If they do not have that person, or if they do not have the data ready, with any other platform, not only with OnPrintShop, even if they start something very, very easy, still that's the challenge because they do not have a data or things ready to implement into a web to print. So those customers really give us challenges. And as I mentioned, we also started improving the sales process. Right now, we are really curating that, okay, these customers are not ready. So we consult them that please do this homework, please get these things ready. Then only this is the solutions. Otherwise, like,
Yeah. How many printers actually get things done on time when you task them?
so I would say like 60 to 70% of printers today, because see, post COVID, like COVID was like a difficult time, but then it was also a good time because people really believing into a technology. So people who were saying, no, I don't need to learn basically a technology or implementation, they also started taking it seriously, and they really spent time learning a different thing because technology was one of the good way of automation. So a lot of printers have opened up, even though they did not have a technical knowledge. They say, no, please teach me, I'll be able to do it. So they have a positive intent saying that, okay, I'm going to learn this. So those kind of customers like opened up, and then they're really putting efforts. And today what is happening, like every day the new technology is coming, so they have to really you have to make the technology a friend rather than like running away from it. Otherwise it's going to be very difficult. Like online order management and web to print will become a norm. Before it was a luxury that, okay, any like any print company would need an accounting platform. Similarly, I guess after a few hours they will need to have an online ordering system, because even those all owners, we ask them like, do you order like everything on Amazon? They says, yes, we order on Amazon. Do you take Ubers? Yes. Why do
It's
you?
it's the it's the
Yeah,
way of life, right?
yeah, it's a way of life. It's a
It's
convenience. So the
ease.
same
Correct.
customer would demand from you, like if you are a printer and you're not offering those convenience, I'm not saying this is the only way of ordering. There will be a hybrid ordering. If somebody wants to call Warren and say how much it is, and Warren can generate an order, or they can do on their own. But then everything is collected at one particular dashboard. So in a matter of second, if Warren calls me back and say, oh, I just something I need before 6 months, in matter of second, I can find out and say, yes, Warren, I have that order, I can reorder it. So it's a hybrid ordering system now. So it's online, offline, and one data and centralized dashboard. That is what our goal for printers is.
No, so it sounds like you're pretty much trying to cover it and make business easy for printers. I could just imagine though some of them installing the system, right? Just with the people and the time that it takes. You mentioned technology, so how are you using AI today?
So we were one
Or
of the
are you
first.
using AI? I have to, it's an
See,
if and an
we,
and or.
to be honest, like AI is the AI application. If we really feel there are a lot of still into an initial phase, I would say, for printing industry, because there are a lot of aspect can be covered within AI. But we really looked into AI implementation in OnPrintShop by just understanding what are the common challenges our customers are facing when they are setting up a web to print or online storefront. So one of that challenge was creating the content. So this print companies did not have a content managers, or they didn't know like what to put as a content which helps them create a good presence online. So we integrated AI in OnPrintShop. We also won an award for that. We were the first one to introduce AI in web to print, where from the back end you can prompt an AI saying that, okay, this is my product, which is a business card. Just help me with 100 words for my business card content targeting to US. And I'm doing this paper, that paper. And it creates a nice content for them. They can obviously optimize it. So, and sometimes they have to create like a lot of web pages, like blogs, for example. You might want to educate your customers. And now creating a blog is like need a time where you have to sit like maybe 3-4 hours, write a blog. So they can just prompt an AI that help me with a blog content which I'm writing targeting to small businesses, why they should have a professional print company. AI will really create a nice content. They can optimize it and they can launch it. So one is a content manager directly from the backend. So that a lot of our customers came back to us and say like this has improved their product launch, product setup into web to print by 70%. Second, we integrated image generation, because a lot of time what happens is like if you really want to create a rich website, you really need to put nice graphics, like a business card images, for example. Even once you go into a business card, there are gallery images, like what different types of business cards you do. There also we integrated an AI. So that is for the backend. And then same AI we also offered to their end client. Now assume that you go to a printer's website and you have to design a brochure. And maybe you are a small educational institute and you're designing a brochure for that, but then you don't know what content to write. So as a marketing manager, the same AI I can prompt in the designer student. I can say, okay, I'm designing a marketing brochure for my educational institute within Canada, within US. Please help me with 100 words. What should be the marketing message on my front page of a brochure? In the designer studio itself, AI will give them some ideas. They can edit it, optimize it, and do it. So that the end customers are getting benefit. So AI, especially in OnPrintShop, if I summarize, we have utilized in content generations and image and graphic generations.
And are you using AI to scan the data and the information and the work that's going on to help analyze what the customers are doing that you can give back to them? Like, can they learn from the information in your system to help their business?
We right now, for example, we have reached to a level where we are showing them trending products. We are also able to show them basically which products are more popular, and then automatically that dynamic display is also happening in the storefront side. Before it was like trending products, you have to manually select that these are my top 10 trending products. Now today the AI identifies which are top trending products within a storefront. So every month it could change also, but in the back end we are still, I guess, like what data to be analyzed in that case. In the back end, I guess we have not implemented any AI right now for data analysis.
Right. Everything takes time. Not everything can be done in a day.
True.
Right. Question. Why, excuse me, why do printers switch to you from some, or to your not to you, but to the company when using other people?
See, three major reasons I would say. The OnPrintShop is a very modern web to print system. Like there were amazing web to print in the market. Whoever is in the business today in the web to print, I'm sure they are all good companies. But over the period, certain web to prints have becoming
By the way,
obsolete.
they're not all good companies. I just want to say that.
They have
But
become
yeah,
like an obsolete technology, not upgraded many times. And second, like sometimes they really box you in their ecosystem. They'll only offer you limited payment, shipping options which they have integrated versus printer needs flexibility. So that's where the modern system is one of the reason people select us. Second, as I mentioned, the support. Even like the recent customer given me an example that I used to have a US provider before, and after like 6 o'clock, I was not getting a support versus you guys are in India and I'm getting 24-hour support. So one another reason is support. And as I mentioned, we work really closely with customers for next 3 to 6 months because it's a subscription solution. And we are having an advantage sitting in India. We can offer them that services. Maybe for US counterparts would be difficult in order to offer them such support, timings, and the cost. So that is the second reason. And third, why we are becoming a choice for large printers is like end-to-end automation. So we are not just a web to print company, but we are complete an IT company. So Radix Web, which is our parent organization, like 800 plus employee size, having expertise across a lot of different technology aspect, and that is what coming in the web to print as well. So as I mentioned, we have certain top 100 print companies of the world who are really utilizing very customized and tailor-made applications. So right now in the market, I would say there are no other contenders who can offer this tailor-made system because people do not want to break their web to print and they do not even have resources to do that custom and tailor-made because it's too complex to manage. So like these are the three major reasons, as I mentioned, people are preferring on-print shop.
uh, just different question. When you guys lose a deal, what's the reason?
One is like we are sitting in India. We have US sales office. US, to be honest, we do not lose the deal, but the major deals are lost also in the Europe region because one of the thing is like maybe the language. Even in Latin America, we lose, but then US, we have so many success stories and word of mouth. We have created that brand image. Uh, we do not, to be honest, losing the deal in US at this stage, and we have a US office as well. So one of our manufacturer and foreman is a US counterpart managing the complete sales, and after like sales onboarding is done from here. So that particular gap we have breached. But before, like when we didn't have the US presence, one of the reason we were losing is like we are sitting in a different part of the world.
Right. Yeah. People like to know that you're a little more local than not. Do you have a feature that printers ask for that most don't need? You know, is there something that printers just like that they ask for because they like to hear it or they hear people always talking about it, but they don't utilize it?
There are a lot of wish lists coming from print companies. Like recently, because we implemented in AI, we are the one of the first one. One customer said like in the last Printing United, I was just going in each of the web to print and asking like, what are your plans for AI putting into a web to print? Nobody has a clarity, and then after 6 months, I'm seeing OnPrints have already implemented it. But now they really want, as I mentioned, one of the thing, as you really well said, like data analysis for the AI is also in demand. Then people are also asking that, okay, just give an AI prompt and say create template for me, and then it would just create a template rather than they need to go into a designer studio kind of thing. So they are all wish list of the customers. Not sure like how many will be able to utilize those particular feature set into their platforms. And then a lot of customers are looking at like some big players without realizing that how much time and team they have. Like they always see like Vistaprint is doing completely new every maybe 15 days, and they say, oh, we need to also have this into our system. Like Vistaprint is having, I don't know, 1,000 people sitting there and coding and keep introducing new things versus this is. So there are a lot of things, I guess, as I mentioned, in the storefront side, AI side, people keep bringing up.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have to they get carried away with what the neighbors are doing, and they're looking, and they don't know. I mean, I remember getting caught up a few times in you know, oh, what's he doing? What's he doing? We got to do it, and then we start, and then I'm thinking, not even me, someone else says to me, "What are you doing?" Like you're not even anywhere in that realm, but you only see one little part of what they're doing, and you don't see what goes
Absolutely.
on behind,
That's
right?
exactly
So
very, very rightly said by you. They just look at the front, what is there, but they do not see the whole uh, like efforts which is
yeah,
being put in the
it's
background.
even when you're looking at your neighbors at home, right? They put an in-ground pool in. You want to put a pool in, the first thing you need is land. If you don't have a lot of land, you can't put a pool in.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, do you have any clients that have used the platform in an unexpected way?
Yes, like some of our customers had multiple businesses. Like one of the customer in US, uh, they have a print business and they are selling a lot of print items. But then these guys are also into the wholesale confectionery and then grocery kind of business. They are selling like biscuits and vegetables and all. And they say like we love on-print shop and we want to implement that also in on-print shop. Then one of the customer had a cake shop. And these days, like I already have a print store, and now I want to set up another site just in OnPrintShop, centralized order management, just another store, but only selling cakes. So OnPrintShop already has a print on demand, and you can also set up a predefined items like selling a mobile phones or a cake and all. So people have utilized that. At the end of the day, it's an e-commerce system. You
Right.
can set up any static item, stock item, or print on demand items.
Cool. Very cool. So anybody listening, if you've got multiple businesses, if you're selling to multiple consumers, maybe you have your own system and you don't really need Shopify.
Recently, one of our customers had a very uh, unique implementation. Not a lot of players are doing right now in the industry. They have completely automated their ADA sign uh, with an online estimator and designing. So ADA sign is like, for example, a lot of hotel chains, and they would need those signs. And then below that, there is also Braille fonts uh, for the differently able
Wow.
people. So system this they would say, well, like room number this automatically the Braille will be automatically updated into the designer studio. Plus there are a lot of options: the background of the plate, front of the plate. Then in the print ready file also, like it's a completely different specifications because most of them are laser engraved or different materials. So it's not like a standard print ready file we have to generate. But then this is like we spoke to like a lot of programmers and IT companies before coming to you. Nobody was even able to understand what we are doing and then how that, and we completely launched their project. We also have them on our site as a success story, Ari Custom Signs. You can check their websites also, and they have launched within like 6 months, and the site is active there. Like they are saying like 80 to 90% time is just saved because everything was manual versus now it is online. You can just go to their website, select a plate, start putting your custom text automatically. Below that, the Braille will also be automatically updated, and then customer is able to order.
Probably a little hard to proof the Braille though online, eh?
That see, as a customer, you will not know because you don't know whether it is done or right.
No, no,
But
I know.
the
I'm
team is
just
doing in
joking.
the
Yeah.
back end. Yes, the team is doing
Yeah.
in the back end. They're able to rectify that. But they are saying like system is see Braille is also like a font, but then generating the font properly, there is a gap between the characters we have to
Right.
manage. So somebody feeling that should have an easy.
Has
Uh,
to flow, and
so that we
it's
have
their
achieved with some
it's their
customers.
own alphabet, right? Their own reading system.
True.
So that's cool. So what would you think if I'm thinking to the future? What would be the biggest risk for printers that don't adopt a web to print system? Like, are they out of business soon?
I would not say somebody would be out of business by not having a web to print, but they will lose uh, a good market share who is really like an online savvy audience. So if you really see like everywhere in India also, like there is a younger generations, like we can say Gen Z, millennials, they really want convenience rather than like driving to a shop and then selecting a lot of things. Even though you are charging something premium, they would say, okay, let me order online. And these guys are also working, so they need convenience. So it's not like I have to go out of my office just to get some simple printing to be done. So you will lose that particular market share. So still, I would say it is not like maybe after years it can be that, okay, if you do not have a web to print, you can go out of business, but we have not reached to that level. Still, there is a good market share. People are running the business, working with their local businesses in an offline or traditional way, but then they are satisfied with the limited region or limited reach. But if you really want to grow without web to print, there is not an option. Assume that you have a print shop maybe in the New York. You might say, I want to grow in Texas. You have to open another print shop in Texas, staff, machines. It's $1 million like investment versus you can say, oh, let's go online. Even Texas customers can also order online and I can ship it via next day, maybe via UPS. So by sitting at one location, you can maybe without opening a physical location, you can serve the whole market. That's the strength of a web to print system, I would say. Second, without increasing the staff members, you can manage the number of orders. Like we have customers, Warren, today managing 300 orders a day to 1500 orders a day within the same system. Once the order gets in, end-to-end automation within like 30 to 40 minutes gets out of the production. So such level of automation is also possible with a web to print. So if you really want to scale your business, I would say without web to print or without online system, it's almost impossible.
Yeah, well, I think you hit the nail on the head. Actually, more about the labor, and with a younger audience coming out there.
Yeah.
Not on forget the buy side, on the labor side.
Yeah.
Right. You want to attract people. You have to have. I won't say everything has to be easy, but it has to have the impression of it being simpler than the ways we used to do it. Right. So people are going to come in. And it's modern day thinking, whether we like it or not. And I'm really asking that because, prints, it still is an old business. They don't market a lot. They should be marketing more. Kudos to the ones that do, by the way, because I don't ever want to make it like our industry doesn't market. We have amazing companies doing amazing stuff.
True.
Unfortunately, the bulk of our industry is not marketing. And is not necessarily doing it the way that I think a lot of it should be done. Not that I'm an expert, right?
Even you very much highlighted, because see, that is also one of the challenge why they are not able to attract a good skill forces, because you are not marketing enough that you are that company. Plus, like as a young generation who is coming out of an university, who is graduated, if you ask him like, who is your top 5 industries you will go in, I don't see they would put printing in top 5. They would say IT, they would say retail, they would say fashion, because they know that these industries are modern and they've implemented a technology. So even in order to attract this kind of technology, they don't want to come into your shop and work on a pen and paper and going from one desk to another desk. They're really looking for companies which can really, these guys are really creative. So rather than we keep them doing on pen and paper, these guys' creativity should be utilized in terms of another aspect of the business.
So I'm along those same lines. I'm saying to people, you got to make sure even your website looks good and current and up to date, because if the younger generation's looking at your company and your website sucks, or it's outdated, or it's not easy to move, they're moving on.
Yeah. Like it's like you're inviting someone into your house and your living room is messed up.
Yeah, but those people that come over usually don't take their shoes off anyway. So, right? No, but it is appealing. I think a lot of what we do today is we have to appeal to the young people if we want to find the good people that are young, that they're smart, that want to have some initiative, and then we got to give them some room, some room to grow. So it's pretty good. So the system sounds pretty good. Your competition, are they doing well? Are they not doing well? Are there some companies that are doing well? I'm always curious how people look at the competition. Like, we don't have to mention names because I'm not out to knock anybody.
True. So competition wise, we are less affected because, like, when you compare feature wise, we are very much ahead than a lot of competition. Like a lot of web 2 prints were good, even like better than us, but now we have even reached better than recent. We've also won like a lot of awards in last 3 years from Printing United. The next show is Printing United. That's in Orlando. So it's a good way, like, customer can come and meet us and see the product in action. But a lot of web 2 prints are like really good in terms of managing the B2B corporates. But they're only good with like limited corporate storefronts. Now printers today are looking at the whole ecosystem. For example, if we say, okay, you are a corporate customer, you order via storefront, or you are a small customer, you have to order via email. It's not that. Like, you really need to have a centralized processes. So that's where OnPrintShop really plays a bigger role. You can still manage your corporates, customers. You can also launch a retail. Plus, we have created a whole order management system in the background. So email customer, phone customers, walk-in customers, everything can be managed into the same system. So that's where a lot of other players have not reached. It is only like online orders versus OnPrintShop is like any type of orders you get via email, phone, you can manage into the same system. So competitors are also, like, some of the competitors have really made their presence earlier. So a lot of companies have implemented them. Also, they know that, okay, there are better system out there like OnPrintShop, but it's difficult for them. It's a change management because they already have a lot of data, customers over the years. It's not an easy task to migrate. So even though you know that it's a better product, still for you it's a big decision.
Yeah, it was never easy. So like if you're a printer and you happen to be listening, my suggestion is when you want something, you take your time, you look, you ask lots of questions, you ask the same questions to the different companies to see the answers that you get so that you can compare. You bring with some real life situations, you think of your bigger problems first, and you're not going in and flipping a switch and it's up and running. That I can tell you
Not a magic.
is not happening. And I think for all of us, software and everything is probably our biggest nightmare, right? Because it doesn't go as smooth and easy ever as we would want, right? All right. So before I close up, any last minute words you want to have to the listeners?
No, I guess, as I mentioned, if you really want to meet us in person, then Printing United is a way. And right now at OnPrintShop, rather than selling, we are more like consulting, understanding your current business processes, understanding the ordering process, actual customers, products, and then finding out where it can implement. So it's less about selling versus more like relationship building. So it's not like when you meet us, you have to buy. At least we'll know each other. So if you guys are coming to Printing United or Orlando in October, we will be there.
Cool. So a reminder, big reminder, and you all know it already, but when you get into a system, you are stuck in that system for a while. So I just want to remind you again, before you are in the system, do your homework, do your research, ask questions, talk to other printers, make sure the other people you're talking to are in the same zone that you're in. You're not talking to someone too big, too small to get the information, because nothing's going to match up after with what you're thinking or how you plan to, to put it to work, to put it to use. So we're going to call that one a day. First of all, Naimish, thank you so much for coming on. Lots of information. Sounds really good. I'm happy to have others on as well and chat with them, because it's a tricky situation, web to print, right? When you're implementing something in a company. So like anything else in any other business, it starts with the relationship. So who you speak to, who you feel comfortable with, is who you might want to move forward with. Always slowly when it comes to stuff like this, right? Because once you sign, you're done. You don't get out so easily. Wow. So I hope everybody enjoyed the episode. I thought the information was pretty good. If you have any questions, you want to know anything, feel free to call me, email me. You said you're going to be at Printing United.
Yes.
this October 22nd, 23rd. If you're listening, I'm going to be at Printing United this October 22nd, 23rd. I'll be doing a speak the first day in the morning at 9 o'clock, so I encourage everyone to come out. Otherwise, I'll be walking around, and I encourage you to just tap me on the shoulder and say hello, and maybe we could have a drink or a tea, one or the other. Again, Naimish, thank you so much to everybody. Thanks so much for another episode, and we will see you the next go around. Ciao.